Uh, so yeah, that's my view. If you want to read that out again for others, or shall we wait for others?
No, I think this is the group we have. We have a small group today. We can get started.
Okay. So I don't know, briefly, I can tell you that after whatever last 7 years of my, so I've been a corporate person, but currently my larger purpose of life is to infuse certain chapters of consciousness into the primary education system, for which I've been meeting the Directorate of Education and so on and so forth. So that's the another thing that I do. I don't know what is it. Maybe I think I joined in late, so I don't know what is the exact question. I can maybe elaborate more on that. Ashish, what is the exact question, and what else do you want to hear?
No, no. I found I was going through your comment when I saw the list of participants, and your comment
Yeah.
really caught my attention.
All right. Okay.
And as you were sharing, there is a message from Farzeen that she is exactly working in that area. So
Oh,
if you
wow.
like, both of you can connect subsequently and carry forward the
Yeah. So
conversation.
briefly, I think there's a lot of effort happening around the mindfulness and also living life more soulfully and spiritually and in oneness at the adult level. A lot of great work is happening. I think about 2 years back, I gave up and I thought it's taking too much of time, infinite time, 8 billion people. I thought, let me see if I can do it in the formative years. And maybe hypothetically, if it happens in all 195 countries, maybe in about 100 years, we will have golden age, utopia, satya, if there is.
Yeah. No. So Dalai Lama says within a generation, we will transform the world if we start teaching kids mindfulness.
Exactly.
Not
Exactly.
even 100 years now.
Yeah.
So
So that's what, so apart from running my corporate business in recruitment consulting for about 15 years, about 2 years back, I got into this as the purpose of life and my mission of the rest of the life is to infuse certain chapters of oneness into the primary education system, for which I've made some games and stories, which will perhaps will get added into the current happiness curriculum, which is already being taught in all the Delhi government schools. So
beautiful.
long story cutting short, yeah. So just giving back to society in whatever small form.
Beautiful. And I think that's very nice what you're doing, Amit. And on
Sure.
that note, may I request everybody to quickly share in 1 or 2 minutes about what they're doing, and then we will get started on these stories. Anyway, the objective of this session was to encourage discussion amongst the mindful living community members. So we are happy to have that discussion before we share these stories. And Jaidev ji, maybe I'll request you to share a bit about yourself, and then Farzeen and Srilata. I think he's got a call. So Farzeen, maybe you could start. Farzeen, are you there with us? Srilata, any one of you could go first. And Jaidev ji, if you're free, maybe you could go.
बीच में अचानक एक कॉल आ गया.
हाँ, sure.
हाँ जी, क्या क्वेश्चन क्या है आपका?
Now, could you introduce yourself in a couple of lines?
Okay. Before I introduce myself, actually, I was impressed with what Amit said, and Amit, I would have loved to see your face. You know, that creates some kind of mental image when you meet somebody. And actually, I'm more of a visual person, so whatever I see, I remember. Whatever I hear, I forget, and that is going
I
on.
recently shifted my house, and I'm there, but I still decided to change, attend this session, and I'm having my breakfast. If you still want to have.
It's perfectly okay, sir. You can have breakfast. Mindfulness का हिस्सा breakfast करना भी है, मस्त रहना भी है, भगवान को याद करना भी है, लोगों का भला करना भी है.
I got super late. Something has come up, so I have to rush. So
Perfectly okay, sir.
Sure.
Swami ji, जो आप अपने बारे में अभी बता रहे थे, whatever your mission and whatever you're doing, that was very inspiring actually, and great.
I'm an empty vessel. It's happening from above, and I'm a follow.
Wow.
No doubt about it, sir. ये अक्कल आने में और समझने में 40 साल लग जाते हैं.
Maybe I should have. I was like this only till 2016. I was involved in WWW, Wine, Women, and Wealth, and then slowly the spiritual journey happened, and traveled to some crazy places and met a lot of spiritually awakened people and listened to almost about 20 gurus across the globe. Understood that they all are saying the same thing, but even these spiritual cults are saying, no, this is the right way, this is the right way, this is the best way. तो पहले तो धर्म लड़ते थे, अब स्पिरिचुअल गुरुज भी आपस में. So I think endless है. मतलब I don't want to hijack the conversation, but thank you. It's just that I'm contributing back, and it is just the body, but something else is happening through somebody else, and I'm a part of you, and you're a part of me. Nobody is questionable. Everybody is playing the exact role and task which he's supposed to do on this. In this
Beautiful, beautiful, Amit. Thanks for sharing that. And
great. Thanks for showing your face, Amit ji. Now, as Ashish ji requested, I should introduce myself क्योंकि बाकियों ने भी request introduce करना है और जो भी सर का agenda है वो आगे लेकर चलें.
Yeah, thank you.
आशीष जी तो मुझे हम एक दूसरे को काफी सालों से जानते हैं. I am heading the learning and development of IB Group. It's a 10,000 crore company.
IB.
It's into very interesting and different field. Broiler बनाते हैं.
IB. Okay.
Apart from that, before joining this company for 5 years, I was a business coach in Delhi NCR for small and medium enterprises.
I've heard your name. I've seen your name for sure.
कहाँ पर?
In some of the WhatsApp groups here and there, maybe BNI network.
वो पक्का. You are right.
Yeah, your name is not new, and I know that you're in this area. Yeah.
So very good, thank you. I'm the famous coach.
I'm surrounded by coaches, mindful coaches, spiritual coaches.
हाँ वही business coach लिखा होता तो जब भी आप search भी करेंगे तो आ जाएगा ये चाहे कहीं ना कहीं से. So I was a business coach for 5 years. Before that, for almost 20 years, I worked with different top of the line organizations in IT field, project management, and manufacturing sector. I'm double MBA by the way. और मेरा spiritual box almost आशीष जी के साथ बड़ी interesting बातें होती रहती हैं. I told you whatever things that happened, and he was also amazed with whatever has happened in my life in the last few years. And interestingly, एक तरफ there was I would say in the normal context tragedy, which you can see as a tragedy or pain. But on the other side, there was a very internal joy and happiness which bestowed upon me by something, some superpower. And in that journey of the last 10 years of spiritual awakening, I've also discovered my purpose of existence on the earth. And whenever I move in that direction, things move in such a beautiful way कि वो मतलब बयान नहीं किया जा सकता. That's briefly about me.
Do I have the permission to carry my breakfast, or I can switch off the video as you wish?
Sure. Carry on with your breakfast. But we don't want to keep you away from your food. And now we will get started with the session. The idea was to connect and share stories which inspire, and stories inspire much more than facts and logic does. And we are also getting a lot of feedback from the community members that we should have forums where people, the mindful living members, can interact with each other. So I thought this will be a good platform to share 3 stories that inspired me a lot, and also hear from you your comments on these stories. I'll share my takeaways also, and we will have a discussion. As far as possible, keep your cameras on as it will facilitate the discussion. For those of you who are attending our session for the first time or watching the recording, my name is ASHISH KUMAR, and I am the founder of Mindful Living. I started Mindful Living community during COVID. When the first lockdown happened, few of my friends reached out to me and requested me to conduct mindfulness sessions for them to help them deal with the stress and anxiety that the first lockdown was causing. Being a mindfulness certified coach myself, I happily did the session. One thing led to the other. And today we are a vibrant community of over 3,000 people who connect every weekend to share about living consciously. And our session today takes forward that practice. So the first story that I'll share today is about a partially deaf kitten. And this is how it goes. I'll read it out for you. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village, there lived a peculiar kitten named Whiskers. Whiskers was a curious and adventurous little feline, always finding his way into the most unexpected situations. One sunny afternoon, as the village bustled with activity, Whiskers and his friends wandered into the backyard of an old farmhouse. There, the farmer's wife had kept a large pot of milk out in the open. The aroma of the fresh milk enticed Whiskers, and with his curious nature leading the way, he leaped onto the edge of the pot to investigate. As Whiskers explored the creamy surface of the milk, his playful paws splashed and danced in the liquid. The pot, initially stable, began to teeter precariously. Before anyone could notice, Whiskers lost his balance and tumbled headfirst into the pot. The milk sloshed and splashed as Whiskers struggled to stay afloat. Whiskers panicked and fervently began to paddle with his paws. Other kittens began to make fun of him. Completely unaware of being mocked at, Whiskers continued his adorable struggle and kept swimming. The magical transformation started beneath his tiny paws. Milk slowly started to transform into butter due to continuous churning. As time passed, Whiskers' efforts bore unexpected results. The once liquid milk solidified into a lump of delicious butter. Firstly, feeling satisfied with his aquatic adventure, Whiskers made a daring leap out of the pot, his fur now coated in creamy butter. The partially deaf kitten shook himself off, sending droplets of butter flying in all directions. Word of Whiskers' butter churning escapade spread throughout the village, turning the little deaf kitten into a local legend. So friends, this was the first story, and I will pause here to hear your comments, your takeaways from the story. I'll share my own, but I would like to hear from you first. Anybody would like to share their takeaways from the story? So while we wait for you to hear, we wait to hear from you, I'll share my takeaways. In my corporate career of over 25 years, I've had some good bosses, some bad bosses, and some really nasty bosses. Mostly I was fortunate to have good bosses. But the nasty ones ridiculed me, made fun of me, body shamed me, gave me impossible targets to achieve, and put me on performance improvement plans. But much like Whiskers, oblivious of all that, I kept on doing what I was supposed to do. And as a result of that, once my boss, who later went on to become the CEO of a billion-dollar insurance company, said that the work that I have done in promotion of business associates, which was part of the work I was doing, is legendary. So I didn't get distracted by people making fun of me. Whiskers also was not distracted when other kittens were making fun of him. Because he was partially deaf, he in fact thought they were cheering him on. And he continued doing what he was supposed to do in that situation, what was the best for him, which is to keep swimming, keep paddling. And he came out a winner. So that's the story of Whiskers, a partially deaf kitten. And I'll pause here for a couple of seconds to see if you have any comments before we move on to the next story. All right, friends. Then we move to the second story, which is about Buddha. One day, Buddha was walking through a village with his disciple, begging for food. As they passed through the streets, they came across a poor family living in a small hut and asked for food. The family had nothing to offer and were feeling ashamed. So they sent out their daughter, a small girl, to tell Buddha that they have nothing to give. The small girl, not realizing what was happening, came out running happily and was about to say that we have nothing to give. Buddha realized what was happening and stopped her midway through her sentence, smiled, and said, "That's all right, my child. Please give me some mud." The little girl, puzzled but trusting, scooped up a handful of mud from the ground and put it in the bowl. The Buddha graciously accepted the mud with gratitude and walked away. However, his disciple was livid. He said angrily, "We anyway didn't have much to eat, and now you have got this girl to put mud on it. We can't eat now, and we will have to go hungry." Buddha smiled and said, "At best, we will go hungry for a day. But the lesson that the girl has learned will help her a lifetime." Friends, can you guess what was the lesson?
You always have something to give.
Absolutely. Very well said, Jaydev ji. You always have something to give. You always have something to offer. And when I heard this story, this was about 5 years ago, and I was I just started my trading company, and I was going through a tough time. The business was slow to pick up, and I had run out of funds. I had zero bank balance, and my checks were bouncing. So when I heard this story, I wondered to myself, what is it that I can give? I have nothing to give. And then I started offering water to birds in the balcony. I started offering smile to strangers in the lift. And as I mentioned earlier, I started offering complimentary mindfulness sessions to the community. All of this helped me a lot. My attitude changed. From being a seeker of business, I became a giver. Earlier, I would go and ask for business. Then my attitude changed, and I would go to my prospects and say what is the problem you are facing? How can I solve that? So from being a taker, receiver, I became a giver, and that boosted my confidence a lot. And that in turn led to a boom in my business. It's 5 years now. And with grace of God, we are flourishing. So giving is very, very powerful. Givers always gain. So that was my second story, and I'll be happy to hear from you, Jaydevji, and others who have any takeaways to share from their story. If this resonates, yeah, anyone, any comments, we are happy to hear.
Yeah, I have something to add, but I would love others to, speak, because nowadays, otherwise it will become a 2 or 3 persons conversation between you, me, and Amit.
Sure. Anyone would like to share? Yes,
Ashish, can I share something? I'm sorry I can't switch on my camera. I was not ready
Okay.
for this session actually. It just popped up and I thought I'll join in.
Sure.
So, as you said that we all have something to give. So what I've learned, especially in the last 2 years of post-COVID, is that we are never short of blessing people. So even if you don't have money, even if we don't have anything, everybody has the power to bless each other. And, straight from the heart, it comes straight from the heart when you start doing it. So I think blessings are never enough, one thing. And second, you are never poor to give blessings. So that's what I have learned. And it's very empowering to be able to bless. And incidentally, today is my dad's 23rd death anniversary. And he has been a giver throughout his life. I've just seen him giving, from both of his hands. And despite, not sacrificing, overlooking his needs at times, but just doing it for others. And while growing up, I don't know why I'm sharing this because it's too personal, but it's just coming. So I'm just going ahead. When I was growing up, I used to realize that first, we should have enough for ourselves. Then we should go and bless or give away people. And financially, he used to help people, right? But when I was now, after I've been thinking, I've been on a spiritual journey, I've realized that nothing goes waste. Whatever he did for all the people around him, each one of us has blessed us with something. And I truly, truly, truly believe in that. I mean, it never went waste. It's not that he gave away without thinking of us. He just gave away because he was that kind of a man. Not that he was a millionaire. He was just a teacher, a lecturer in Delhi University College. But so this is what I learned from him, that, okay, you have money, you give money. If you don't have money, bless people. And it will never go waste. It will come back to you in measures you won't even know, and it takes a while to realize it. But I'm so glad I realized it in my lifetime, and I can thank him in the heavens above. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this, Smita. Very nice, very powerful. And one of my teachers says that his daily prayer is, may I be a channel of blessings to everyone I come in contact with today. So what you shared completely resonates with that. So thank you. And Jaydevji, now happy to hear from you. Jaydevji?
I was still expecting Farzeen, Shri Lata, others to speak. Rosiana, Ravinder Mehta.
Okay, I'm Farzeen, Ashish, and everybody. This story about Buddha is very nice. It talks about giving, and it is more sharing. Many a times, we may not have too much, but whatever we can have, we can share out of that. Or even if we can't, but just a kind word takes the person on the other end a long way. Like one person used to always tell me, I will pray for you. One of my dad's friends used to tell me, I'll pray for you. And that used to give me a lot of solace and comfort. So, giving may not be in terms of material things, but even a nice word, a nice thought can also be giving, even in terms of time. That's what I feel.
Very well said, Fazeen. Truly appreciate that.
Vinder, Srilata, Rosianna.
Yeah, Srilata, please.
Yes, sir. Today, like I was listening to some spiritual lecture. What is this? Okay. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, today I was busy with some work cleaning, so I couldn't switch on. I was doing the work, and so I couldn't switch on. Okay, I was listening to some spiritual lecture, and I just heard, I am not the body, I am not the mind. So I was just thinking, like, if we keep repeating that, like, we'll think of something more than our daily needs, or our thought process, our opinions and judgments and all that. So repeating this statement somehow from morning, like I was feeling more lighter, and I was more relaxed, and because I am like my mind or whatever, I don't know what to call, awareness or whatever. So I am thinking of more than body and mind. So like if we are focused on our needs and body needs and thoughts and all that, we don't think of higher things. So if I keep repeating this sentence, somehow my mind and like I'm feeling more relaxed, and I don't know, some higher feelings I am getting. So I just wanted to share that. So life will be better. I thought, at least I felt it will be better if we keep repeating this statement. So we think of higher things more than our needs, and our focusing on our judgments and opinions and things like that. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Srilata.
Yes, Ravinderji, Rosina. Shishi, I'm acting as a coordinator for you. To
Maybe
bring
you
some verb
yeah,
in this discussion,
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Ravinderji.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste,
Actually,
Ravinji.
I
Yes.
just joined lately. Only
Yeah.
I could hear the last part. It is to me. It is they say in the Vedanta to get is to give, but I defer to believe in just order to get you give. That is not okay. You give, you get such exhilarating feeling, So not monetarily anything, but you feel nice. You did something good. You did something good for your life. Whatever the outcome may be, but you feel sort of a joy which cannot be explained when you help someone.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ravinji.
Ravinderji, एक चीज और ऐड कीजिए if I think Ravinderji has put himself.
हाँ बोलिए.
आपने बहुत सुंदर, you have said it very beautifully. It's the joy of giving.
Yeah.
I think that Buddha taught that girl the joy of giving. But
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the joy of giving, I think you almost touched it, and that resonated. I think that you are going to say the statement which was
Yes,
at the bottom of my mind is many a times we believe that we don't have enough to give. If we go to that core of that we always have enough to give, then comes the joy of giving. When you start giving, you get a lot of joy.
Yeah.
That has a beautiful hierarchy with each other.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Rosina madam, Farhad sir.
Yeah, can you hear me? Sorry, I'm in midst of something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Recently, this is a app that has come up for me because I'm doing an affirmation which says the more I give, the more I get. The more I get, the more I give.
Yeah,
Hello?
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So certainly the story is really a resonant, and I resonate very well. And best part which I liked was about the story was like you have everything to give. It doesn't mean that you have a material, only the material thing only you can give. You can give blessings, you can give happiness, you can make person happy, love, anything can be. You can just bring up the mood of the person. I mean, that's giving.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Radha. Thank you.
Welcome.
Farhad wants to add something.
No, you can continue. I'm on the same page, and I have little experience of 5 years in corporate sector, and I believe that if you give like charity, so all the evils will disappear. So it's giving is today we live in the world of give and take, right? So we I believe that giving is more important than taking. So we should be giving unconditionally, irrespective. We should be taking from others.
बेटा और एक चाय बोली
Interesting, Fahad. Thanks for sharing. Now, Jaidev ji, you have the last word.
Well, almost सबने बहुत अच्छा. I think everybody has made very beautiful insights from what they learned from the story. One thing I've already mentioned in between when Ravinder sir was saying that many times the core belief that I don't have stops us from enjoying the joy of giving. And many times people who give, and Indian culture is full of that. Indian culture, Buddhist culture, giving has been a very important and integral part of our culture for thousands, millennia. But lately, I observe, at least in the last 100, 200 years, most of the people give already with the back of their mind, कि मैं जो दूंगा ना, तो Bhagwan has to give something 10x of that. So as soon as you have that feeling, and that Almighty is already listening, he said, ये तो हिसाब करें तो बनिया है भाई. He wants to give 10 and wants to get X back. So the whole joy of giving is lost. And when you lose the joy of giving, actually what Shrilata was mentioning, the 10x which actually comes back to you is lost.
Very nice.
That's all I want to add.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jaidev ji. And that brings us to the third and the final story from my side. We'll be happy to hear any story that would have inspired you. And we will open up the session to hear your stories after this. The title of the third story is 99 Gold Coins. In case you have already heard this, please hear it once again. Maybe you will get some new insights from the discussions that we have after this story. The way it goes is, once upon a time, there was a poor but happy farmer who used to live in a village. One day while he was working in the fields, the king passed by and saw him singing and working happily. The king was perplexed because in spite of his own luxurious lifestyle, he was neither happy nor content. When he returned to the palace in the evening, he called his trusted minister and narrated the incidents to him. He asked the minister, how could such a poor farmer who barely had a shirt on his back be so happy? And the wise minister replied that the farmer is happy because he is not a member of the 99 Gold Coin Club. The king was curious to know, what is 99 Gold Coin Club? In response to the king's question, minister requested for 99 gold coins to be issued from the treasury and requested king to accompany him to the village early in the morning next day. In the morning, the king and the minister reached the poor farmer's hut and kept 99 gold coins at the door. When the farmer got up at the dawn and stepped out, he found a bag outside his door. He picked it up out of curiosity and was delighted to find that it contained gold coins. He was overjoyed and began to count them. He counted the coins and found them to be 99. He thought he has made a mistake and counted again. This time also it came to 99. He then asked his wife to count it, and sure enough, it was 99. Suddenly the farmer's mood changed and he became angry. He told his wife, "Someone has played a cruel joke on me and given me only 99 gold coins. If somebody had to give, he could have given 100. I must now earn enough to complete the century." And he started toiling in the fields, became grumpy, stopped singing. That, friends, is the story of 99 gold coins. I will let you stay with the story and figure out how is this story playing out in your life. In each of our lives, in most of the lives, in most of the people, God has given us 99 gold coins, but we choose to focus on that one gold coin that is missing. And I see that playing out in so many cases, whether it is in terms of relationships with our spouses, siblings, parents, or children. They're all fine human beings with 99 good qualities. But we focus on that one which we don't like about our parents, siblings, colleagues, boss. Or when it comes to our career, it could be a perfectly good company, but there is one thing about your boss or your colleague you don't like, and you just get focused on that negative. So just pause for a couple of seconds, reflect on how this story may be playing out in your life, and we'll be happy to hear from you if there is any insight that you get, or if there is any take you have on the story. Yes, Jadevji.
Yeah, let me start now first. Like it has happened. I mean, even now I'm not over it completely. That always trying to be, that high achiever. बढ़िया जी बढ़िया. Meeting.
ये 2 घंटा रेस्ट लेके आए. Very good.
I'm in a meeting.
हाँ?
Meeting now.
Oh, sorry.
So it is true that I think from the beginning of my career or even before that, I've always been that guy, मुझे 99 number लेकर 100 number लेकर आने maths में, and I will get good compliment from my parents. Then I have to be a topper, MBA or things like that. And then when I started career, I want to rise fast. So, and when I got married, my wife used to say, and she's in government service. She's a government school teacher. So physics. वहाँ एक बार सुबह शांति से गए, नौकरी की, घर है. कहाँ टेंशन में हमेशा रहते हो? अच्छी खासी तुम्हारी जॉब चल रही है. You are having a good job, nice salary, good house, and not much of tension. Why you are putting so much tension on yourself? Even when I left my job and started my consultancy, मुझे ये करना है, and all that stuff. I think only in the last, during COVID, maybe I got an opportunity to reflect, कि हो क्या रहा है life में, and what I'm gaining out of all that things. And now that I've moved away from Delhi to a very nice small place in Chhattisgarh, company is good and everything is good, but यहाँ हरी भरी नहीं है, काम भी आराम से होता है. Earlier I used to feel कि यार ये कोई काम ही नहीं दे रहा यार, करने नहीं दे रहा है. Now I feel that is the way it is. सुबह उठिए, enjoy कीजिए life, relax, give whatever you are going to your best, but be happy with whatever you have. So अभी भी journey चल रही है. I won't say I have achieved it, but कभी उस तरफ हो जाते हैं. Sometimes I don't.
Thank you for sharing that, Jaydev. Really appreciate that. It takes a lot of courage to share our own perspective and our own story. And this is a very powerful story about gratitude, being grateful for what we have got, staying focused on what is going right in our lives. And as we stay focused on what is going right, more of the right happens. And as long as we are focused on what is lacking in our life, that one gold coin, we draw more and more lack in our lives. So we'll be happy to hear if anybody has got. Yes, Farzeen.
Well, I just wanted to add that it is perspective also, maybe, because had that person who got the 99 gold coins thought that up to now I didn't have it, but now I have it, maybe like um he would be a happier person rather than going out of that one gold coin to make it 100.
Yeah. So, sorry, did you say that he didn't realize that he's got 99 and he could be perfectly happy with that? Is that what
Yeah,
he's?
correct. Yeah.
Absolutely. He didn't have any and he got 99, and that should have perfectly delighted
Made
him.
him happy. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When we are born, what do we come with? We don't even come with a basic pair of clothes. We just come into the world with nothing, and everything that we get in this life is provided by the world to us. And rather than celebrating what we have got, we all have, everybody on this call and who's listening to this has got a roof over their head, has got food on their table. But we rarely stop to be grateful for that. We are just focused on something, running after something that is missing, and the whole life goes in that. And like Jaydevji was saying, we don't pause, we don't stop to enjoy what is good in our life. And I think that is very, very important. Thank you for sharing that, Farzeen and Jaydevji. Smita, over to you.
Yeah, I feel we as humans tend to focus on the negative all the time. I'm sorry to say, we are quite ungrateful. So whenever something is wrong, rather than focusing on what is good about that particular situation, we always pick up the worst, aspect of that situation. So what I've learned is, even it's very easy to be grateful when you have good things in life. It's more empowering to be grateful when things are not going right. So at that time, you are actually shifting your energies from the thing that is not right and try to focus that in this mess, what is the good thing that I can gather? So I have learned to do that, and it is, I don't know, it is very satisfying, and gives you the strength to deal with those difficult circumstances. It's not easy, but and I've experienced that and done it myself. It takes a lot of your effort, but it is very empowering. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Smita. That's a very powerful message, and I saw that, I witnessed that recently in my life. Somebody I know lost his son, very young son, a very young and handsome son. He was about 25, 30 years of age. And, you would be thinking, what is it that, how can somebody be grateful in a situation like this when you lose a young son who is about 30 years old? And what he told me completely blew my mind. He said, when his son has passed away and then people come to meet and express grief, he had one relative who came, who talked about their son, the relative son, who met with an accident, is alive, but in coma for last about 20 years, semi-comatic situation, and he's not able to move his hand, paralytic. And he says, at that point, I realized that it is possibly better to lose my son rather than have a son who is alive but can't talk and can't move, and is there in the family. So it is how we train our mind to be grateful, and the more it requires training. It requires training on an ongoing basis. But as we practice thanking for what we have got, it just helps. And one of the things that I do when I get up in the morning is to express my gratitude for having this day, and not take it for granted, and not take my life for granted, not take the day that has been provided to me for granted. So thank you for bringing that up, Smita. Very powerful. Thank you. Yes, Amit, you want to share something?
Me?
Yeah, you were saying something. You unmuted yourself.
Yeah. No, I think what Smita just mentioned is so.
Yeah.
If we see it microscopically from the energy level, it's so correct. Spirituality is also science. So when we send the the vibration of gratitude from our core,
Yeah.
it is obvious that the absolutely similar vibrations will get attracted, and we actually work as a neurotransmitter. So those vibrations bring back the similar experiences back in our life. So when we send the vibration of gratitude, just if we could visualize it really, that some rays are going out, similar rays that we emit will attract the similar waves back to us.
Absolutely.
So prayer and begging always will probably bring back the same vibrations which you do not want. But gratitude, which is abundance, yeah. So very scientifically as well, it is correct.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's a very simple practice, but extremely powerful. I think very relevant for our times today when we are so busy. We can just keep saying thank you as we go through our day, whether it is traveling in the lift up and down, or our car, or somebody who's driving us, or somebody who's serving us. We can just keep saying thank you. And on that note, I would like to say thank you to each one of you for taking out time and joining the session today. I couldn't
Thank you
be
to
more
you, sir.
grateful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And if you have anything to share, we'll be happy to hear. Otherwise, we'll bring the session to a close. You can unmute yourself and make some noise on your way out. Next weekend, we may not have a session as I am traveling. You will get to know about it in the group. In case you are a member of Mindful Living community, you will hear us from us in the group. In case you are not, you could click on the link that we have shared in the chat and join the group. We hold these sessions every weekend to share about living consciously. And as Amit said, this is our small bit to improve the consciousness of the humanity and elevate the consciousness levels overall, because we all have an infinite impact on the people around us. We don't realize it, but we do. So as each one of us gets more conscious, becomes better, we impact the humanity as a whole. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Ashish, I need to share something.
Yes, please.
Rosina here. Okay, I have gone through a lot of trials in my life, and many a times we feel like, why me, why this, why that. But when I reflect back today, it's like if this wouldn't have happened in my life, I would have reached the levels to the intellectual level where I am right now.
Absolutely. So absolutely, very well
So
said.
that's always been into being grateful, and that's always is the part of the daily routine now.
Yeah. So being grateful for our struggles is also an essential part of our journey, because our struggles polish us and make us the person we are. So thank you for sharing that. That's very beautiful, Rosina. Once again, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.